Welcome back to another video on the channel today. As always, we're back talking about the pride of North Wales, Wrexham AFC. In today's video, we're going to be talking how Wrexham AFC will cope in League One next season. What are the expectations? Why are some people slightly underestimating us? We're going to be talking everything about transfer activity, competition that we face in this league, and much more. But before we get going in today's video, if you're looking for all the best Wrexham AFC content on YouTube, make sure to get down there and click the red subscribe button. We're so close to hitting 25,000 subscribers, so like I said, if you're new and you're looking for all the best Wrexham AFC content on YouTube, this is the place to be. Also as well, let's see if we can go for 750 likes on today's video. That'd be massively appreciated. So the first topic that we are going to be talking about is the transfer activity that Wrexham AFC have undergone in this summer transfer window. Now, we all knew going into this League One season there were going to be tweaks, there were going to be bigger signings than some that we've seen before at Wrexham since the takeover, and we have pulled through with a couple of really good signings. We're going to be talking about the depth, the departures and the signings, everything to do with the transfer window. I think at the start of the transfer window it was clear to everyone to see. I think it was Rob Ryan Red on Twitter did put like a team sheet list up with our depth in every single position, and looking at it, we knew that there were obviously going to be players that were going to be leaving Wrexham. There were players there that maybe aren't going to make the cut for League One and that we are still expecting to leave the club, whether it be on loan, on a permanent deal. But the conclusion we came from looking at that squad depth team, we saw that we needed depth in that centre-back role. We needed to bring one or two players in. We needed a first-team goalkeeper, a midfielder and even a striker. And so far, it has been a good transfer window for Wrexham. Our first signing of the transfer window was a free transfer, and of course it was Arthur Okonkwo, the goalkeeper, who obviously spent last season on loan from Arsenal. This is possibly the best signing Wrexham will do in this transfer window. Like I said, we saw some really promising signs from Arthur last season in a Wrexham shirt. He was a late addition in the end of September when Ben Foster did retire, but he took the opportunity really well. He cemented himself as one of the best goalkeepers in the league, if not the best goalkeeper. It was the signing that we all wanted to happen. We got it over the line, a 3-year deal for Arthur Okonkwo, and if we weren't to get Arthur Okonkwo, the goalkeeper that would have been coming in to replace him would have had massive boots to fill. So yeah, I think a really logical signing from Phil Parkinson this is. He's a good young goalkeeper. We know what he's all about. He's had that first season in League 2 under his belt and massively performed. I think it was like 16 clean sheets he did keep for us. So he was a massive part of our success last year. And to get him tied down for 3 more years, this young, exciting talent is really good. And the second signing we did make of the transfer window was of course defender Lewis Brunt on an undisclosed fee from Premier League side Leicester City. A signing that there'd been no rumours about. We hadn't heard that Lewis Brunt could possibly be signing for Wrexham. So it all came as a surprise when Lewis Brunt was announced as a Wrexham player through the HP contract printer. But a signing at first, I wouldn't say people were questioning it. They were just a bit, didn't know a lot about Lewis Brunt, rightly so. They did their research, and from what we've seen, he's had a really good season at promotion-winning side Mansfield Town. I think it was his first professional, season in men's football, and he really excelled. A ball-playing centre-back, and of course Phil Parkinson has added that depth into that centre-back role, which I still do think he's going to bring another centre-back in. But to get Lewis Brunt, a youngster, again, it's one who's tied down for many years to come. He's going to be a key part in our defence in the years going forward. And of course, Parky seems to have had him on his radar for quite a while. So I think Lewis Brunt is definitely one to keep an eye out for this season. And of course, the final signing that we have made in the transfer window is no other than George Dobson, the experienced League One midfielder. Parky working his magic yet again. They've pulled the strings behind the scenes to get an incredible midfielder in who has gained a lot of experience playing for Charlton, Sunderland. He's set to go to a Hungarian team where he's set to play in Europe as well. So he's clearly got a bit about him. We've seen him in the pre-season friendly against Hanley. He looks like he's going to be a dominant player in that midfield. He's going to be a key asset, going forward. He's going to bring that experience to the team. And I think overall, this is just a really good addition to the squad. And of course, not to forget, we have obviously got the contract extensions as well. We've seen the likes of Max Cleworth, George Evans, Tom O'Connor, who have all been key to our success in the past few seasons. We've tied them down on long-term contracts, which is potentially big going into this season because, like I said, they've played massive parts in the past. No doubt there was interest in Cleworth. No doubt there's probably teams looking at Tom O'Connor. But to get them tied down, like I said, for the years to come, for the future project impact at Wrexham AFC is massive, and it saves us money as well. The price you're going to pay for a replacement like a Max Cleworth or a Tom O'Connor is going to be really, really high, and I think we'd have probably been looking at 7 figures combined looking at replacements if we'd have sold those. So getting them to put pen to paper ahead of this season has added depth and of course adds quality and keeps the quality in the starting 11. And like I've just said, depth is a massive thing that is going to have an impact on how we do this season. It's really, really important that we have that depth going into this season. Okay, last year, we did suffer a couple of injuries here and there, and we did have good replacements. This season is a whole different story. We're in League One. We're competing against Birmingham City, Huddersfield Town, who have multi-million-pound squads. Not even to forget like the likes of Reading, Bolton Wanderers, Barnsley. They have got some really good quality, and if we're wanting to mix around in the top end of the table, we're going to have good depth. And you've seen from the retained list, we've let good established EFL players go. Aaron Hayden, Ben Tozer, just to name a few. They're players that have departed the club who are easily EFL standard. Parky has made his replacements by bringing in Lewis Brunt, who is obviously younger and is going to add more to the future project than Wrexham. Since finishing the video last night, we obviously did announce the signing of young 21-year-old defender Sebastian Reynolds, so this just further backs up my point that the recruitment is slightly changing at Wrexham AFC. We're seeing younger players being brought in for the future project at the club, and I think Lewis Brunt being a young defender, Arthur Okonkwo, and of course Sebastian Reynolds, we're preparing for the long term. We're bringing in really good quality players that are going to offer a lot going forward in the future for the club. I think Phil Parkinson is going to give it a real go in this transfer window. I think he said in an interview yesterday with BBC Sport he is still looking to get 1 or 2 new players in ahead of this season. I don't think Parkinson will do this, but I think there's definitely a chance that we could also see 1 or 2 strikers possibly leave on a permanent or a loan deal. And I'm sure if they are to leave, Parkinson has got good players lined up on his list to replace them with. We've heard the rumours of Tom Bradshaw. I still definitely think there is a chance that Bradshaw does come to Wrexham. It's just about, if we do let these players go, which obviously loses the depth in the squad, it is so important that the players we bring in, A, are better, and B, can add better depth to this team. The transfer window that we do obviously have in the summer is going to play a massive part in how we do up until the December-January period, where obviously we can sign new players will leave in that January transfer window. But the signings we make now are definitely a key factor on how we will do in that short period of time, because we've got quality in the squad. In my opinion, we needed 2 or 3 high quality players that were going to bring that something else to the team, and I think we've definitely done that in bringing in George Dobson, Arthur Okonkwo. Lewis Brunt we can't really comment on too much. We haven't seen him play for Wrexham. He missed the Hanley Town friendly through injury, so I have no doubt that he'll be a big player in our back line. So the next topic we're going to be talking about is our home form. Now I think this is again another factor that is going to play a key role into how Wrexham AFC perform this season, and will play a huge part in the place that we do finish in the table. I don't really need to say too much on it, but since the takeover, the racecourse ground has been a huge fortress towards Wrexham Football Club, towards the players. We have only lost 4 home games out of 69 since the takeover, and last season we did pick up 54 points at home, which was 4 more than the second place team. We had the best home record in League 2 last season, and over the past 3 seasons since the takeover has happened, 59.9% of our total points we've gained have been at home. It's plain and simple, you're going to be at the top end of the League One table if you have a good home record. Cast your minds back to previous promotion winners. They'll go unbeaten at home all season. They'll lose 1 or 2 games. You are going to be up there. Like I said, it doesn't take a mathematician to understand this. The quality difference between League 2 and League 1 is going to be quite significant. Of course, it's easier said than done, but I have no doubt in these players. We've got the quality. I think we can give it a real good go, and I think our home form could play a huge part this season. Now, I put emphasis on our home form being a big role because we've seen our away form the past couple of seasons. Even in non-league, it wasn't great. It wasn't too great. And going up a division, you've got harder teams, bigger stadiums. The occasion is going to be bigger for these players, and I'm sure they'll live up to that, and I'm sure they'll relish that challenge. But we're going to lose more away games than we did in League 2 and the National League. I'd be really shocked if our away form was better in League 1 than it was in League 2. So we need to take huge advantage of our home form this season. We need to make the racecourse a massive fortress, and we need to make it hostile for the teams coming to the racecourse ground this season, because like I said, we're going to face some teams this season who are going to be of a high quality. They're going to have a really good team. They're going to be pushing top end of the table. Some teams in this league even have championship squads, so we're going to be facing some really good teams, and I think on our day we can beat any team in League One at home. The next talking point we're going to be talking on is our manager Phil Parkinson. Parky, in my opinion, is going to be vital into how we do this season. He's going to be the key to our success if we are going to be in and around that playoff top half finish. Parky's a leader. He's a manager you want in these occasions. He's a manager you want taking you forward into this League One season. He's been there as a player. He's been there as a manager. You know, he's won for the big occasions. We've seen him for Wrexham. He's pulled off that, you know, you could say an upset in that 3-3 draw against Sheffield United when they were top of the Championship. We've beaten Coventry at the time. Not to forget his promotions that he's gained elsewhere with Colchester United, Bradford City, took Bolton Wanderers up to the Championship, and of course the back-to-back promotions here at Wrexham Football Club. I think Parky, he'll definitely acknowledge the challenge going into this season, and he's going to make sure our team, the starting 11 every single week, is ready to face obviously the challenges of the likes of Birmingham City, Huddersfield Town, Bolton Wanderers, all the teams that are going to be up there. And I think he'll play a big part in the players' success as well, and obviously the team's success going up the table. I think this is the thing that a lot of Wrexham fans can understand, A, from Phil Parkinson as a manager at Wrexham from the documentary, and B, from the signings that he does make. You know, it looks to be a key trait of Parky that wherever he goes, he likes to employ an honest, level-headed team, and he likes to have good players in the dressing room, players that he can rely on every single week. I think a prime example of this is of course at Bradford City. He took them up to League One, and this is no offence and no insult to Bradford City, but they overachieved massively on multiple different occasions. The FA Cup upsets against Sunderland, against Chelsea, you know, they've beaten Aston Villa over 2 legs to reach the Carling Cup final. It's unheard of for a League 2 team to reach what is now the Carabao Cup final and be 1 win away from European competition. Parky did that with such an honest and good group of players that he can rely on to give him 100% week in, week out, that are working well with him. And I think an example of this is of course Mark Howard. He worked with Howard at Bolton Wanderers, he's worked with Callum McFadzean in the past, George Dobson obviously at Sunderland, etc. So he's going to bring players into the club who he can rely on to give 100% week in, week out. We've seen that over the course of the 3 seasons that Phil Parkinson is there. He will pick a team that you know is going to run their socks off for full 90 minutes, and that is a big part of our success. Of course, our incredible season in the National League where he reached 111 points. The previous year, it was a bit experimental. Of course, it was Phil Parkinson's first season at Wrexham. There were loads of new players joining together, but even then, you know, we got a squad together that reached second place and got 88 points. Last season, we got that promotion, second place finish to League One, and it's clear to see he is not afraid of getting rid of players who don't follow the code in the dressing room. I don't need to name names. If you watched, I think it was the first season of the documentary, you'll see the names that I am hinting towards. But, you know, you could say I'm speaking on like a Crawley Town's behalf, but you're not guaranteed success in League One. We've seen some of the big teams that have dropped down to League One in the previous years that have taken, you know, many seasons to get straight back up. It is not going to be a one season thing to get out of League One. Each season will work on our finish. It would be a huge strike of luck if we were to get out of League One this season. Of course, I'm not completely writing it off, but I'm saying it's probably more possible that we do have a good season, a good solid first season back in League One, than immediately go up automatically again. And of course, it is Phil Parkinson's job to make sure the team is motivated and to ensure the team is ready to face the challenges this season, and I have no doubt in my mind that he will get the best out of these players. He will manage them, you know, psychologically as well, because the challenge, like I've said multiple times, the challenge that lies ahead is going to be one that I think the players are going to relish, and it's Phil Parkinson's job to make sure that they are ready for this. So the next talking point we're going to be talking on is the expectations. Now, looking at the lineup ahead of this League One season, it's clear to see it is going to be a really competitive league. You've got Birmingham City, you've got Huddersfield Town, you've got Barnsley, you've got Bolton, you've got Blackpool, Reading, you name it. There's some massive teams that are in this division, and these are teams that are all expected to be at the top end of the table. I think these are some teams like, you know, the Huddersfields, the Birmingham Cities, the Boltons. They're going to throw everything at it this season to get straight back up to the Championship. Bolton on multiple occasions have failed to get promoted, so they'll be looking for revenge. Birmingham City will hate the fact that they've dropped down to League One. Likewise with Huddersfield Town. You know, these are all well established upper end Championship, if not Premier League clubs that we're talking about here. So I'm not holding my expectations low for this season, but what I am saying is I think you're going to expect us to drop points, you know, more than we have done the past few seasons, and at this rate I would be very happy with a top 10 finish. I think an important point, going back to obviously the transfer activity that we have had this season, I think the transfers we've made have set us up really nicely for the upcoming seasons. You know, we've got Arthur Okonkwo, young, I think he's 22 years old. We've got Lewis Brunt, who's a similar age to Arthur. We've got George Dobson, who's 26. All players that are still relatively young but have gained massive experience and have got huge quality behind them that will hopefully be part of this project into the years ahead, and, you know, players that will hopefully eventually guide us up to the Championship. And I'm not going to get ahead of myself when I do say stuff like this, but from looking at the signings we've made so far, if we can get one or two really good quality players in through the door, I think we could be looking at a playoff push this season. And like I said, I'm not getting too ahead of myself. I know you're probably thinking at home, if you're a non-Wrexham fan, oh, look at this ignorant Wrexham fan. But no, I genuinely do think there is a chance that we could push for playoffs if we just maybe get that good, experienced, goal-scoring striker in through the door, and obviously improve our quality at the back. And if in a crazy world this season that we were to make that step up to the Championship, I think it wouldn't be great for Wrexham, it wouldn't be good behind the scenes, because, you know, at the minute we haven't got a training ground. We have not got a training ground. We're building a new academy one, but we're paying Collier's Park every year, and I don't think they like the fact that we are still training at Collier's, so we need to get a training ground. We can't be heading into the Championship if we don't have our own training ground. Likewise with the Kop stand, I think we need to obviously get the Kop up ASAP. It's easier said than done though, like I've previously said with a couple of other topics, but if we do get that 7,000 seater Kop up, you know, we'll have extra income and revenue flowing through into the football club, which will of course increase transfer budgets, wage budgets, to constantly improve on the squad. And I think if we were to head into the Championship with a three-sided ground and no training ground, it's definitely a risk. And I think on the recruitment side of things as well, I think we'd have to take a harsher stance on the recruitment if we were to go back to back to back. There is a lot of players, and you know, I hate getting on the backs of players. I've never really done it on the channel before, but there are quite a few players that would not make the cut for the Championship, which would obviously mean a lot more recruitment in regards to bringing players in, which, you know, in a really competitive multi-million-pound league like the Championship, it's not going to be great. They're probably going to take time to gel. But on the other hand, we're not in the Championship, we're in League One. There's nothing saying we're getting promoted this season. So I think the main thing for me and the main thing for a lot of Wrexham fans is the fact that we are really, really excited to be visiting these new, big, iconic stadiums, St Andrews, Huddersfield Town, Bolton Wanderers, the Bowl grounds, but yeah, they're all grounds that can have massive away ends. You know, the Reds are going to fill the away ends this season. There's going to be thousands of Wrexham fans on every single away day. So it's going to be a brilliant sight to see all us travelling down. And at least we won't have to go to like the Newports of South Wales, which was just an absolutely shit away day. Or the Accrington Stanleys, which was probably even worse. We'll watch us getting them in the cup now or something. But yeah, I'm glad that we're going to have, you know, good grounds, good teams. There's going to be like 25,000 when we play Birmingham. I'm just really, really excited for this season. There's going to be really endless opportunities for, you know, visiting new grounds. And the final topic we're going to be talking about is the competition that we do face this season. As I previously talked on, there are clubs in this division that are way too big to be down here. Like I said, we'll be doing everything they can to get out of this division. The likes of Birmingham, Rotherham as well, who have freshly got relegated, they've started their recruitment really, really early, bringing in some really good established League One and Championship players. You've got Huddersfield Town, who I think have just got their club captain to stay on. Could be getting that mixed up, but they'll be obviously looking to recruit better. They've brought in Lars Sorensen, the Lincoln City winger, so they're making a real intent really early on in this transfer window. They're all big clubs that are going to be not happy to be down in this division, so they're going to chuck the money at it. They've got the budgets behind them to go straight back up. I think the main team we need to be talking about is Birmingham City, by far the biggest threat and the outright favourites to go and walk this league this season. Everyone's looking at Birmingham City and they're like the anomaly in this league this season. You know, I think it all started when the reports did come out saying they had a £20 million budget. Yes, you didn't hear that wrong. They have got a £20 million budget in League One. This is a budget that would not look out of place for a, you know, mid-table top-end Championship team. It is absolutely ridiculous, and it is shown from the signings that they've currently made in the transfer window. They've casually just brought in the League One's best goal scorer in Alfie May, who is probably going to score even more goals this season. They've brought in two really good goalkeepers in Ryan Alsop and Bailey Peacock Farrell. The fact that one of these two goalkeepers will have to be second choice in League One is ludicrous, and it just shows, you know, the financial backing and the expectation that is on Birmingham City to walk this league this season. And also, not to forget, they've casually just brought in Emil Hansen, who had 11 goals and assists in 24 games in the top league of Dutch football last year. You know, they're just getting these really good players in left, right and centre. Whilst you've got a similar team in the division, Crawley Town, who have nearly lost all their 11 from their playoff winning season last year. So it just shows, you know, there is going to be a massive gap in quality between Birmingham City and I think I'd say, you know, 18 other teams in this league this season. The main player I think we should talk on is Alfie May, a player that I've done a video on before that was linked with Wrexham AFC, but Alfie May is earning £16,000 a week at Birmingham City. It doesn't stop there. He is possibly earning an extra £4,000 in bonuses per week. So he could be on £20,000 a week if everything goes right and he scores like a hat-trick or something. £20,000 a week in League One when you've probably got Crawley Town, Burton Albion. Okay, Burton have changed their takeover, but Crawley I think is a good example. Probably, you know, £2,000 a week max on their players. We've never seen anything like this before. Like I said, they are the anomaly in this division. And also he's been given a £500,000 relocation fee as well. The numbers just speak for themselves and the numbers just put into perspective Birmingham City this season. So I think this definitely does put into perspective how, as Wrexham fans, you know, we have got a good, really good financial back and we're really, really lucky. But you know, seeing this just puts into perspective, you know, our expectations going into this season and how we shouldn't really be expecting another season where Wrexham get 100 plus points, 90 plus points. I still have faith in the lads and I think and I hope we can pull off something special this season. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to get down there, click the red subscribe button, and of course turn on the notification bell if you are new. We're so close to hitting 25,000 subscribers. If you'd like to see more content like this, of course, like I said, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for the support you've shown recently. The USA tour is just around the corner, so expect content before then, and I'll see you in another video. Take care, guys. Up the town.